Hello, Four Star Nation, and welcome to a special Sunday interview. Today we've got Travis Carruthers, the head coach of the University of Ozarks. Christian Johnston and Aaron Smith are both graduates of the University of Ozarks. So we're going to give them the great pleasure today of interviewing Coach Carruthers. Christian, go ahead.
All right. Some background on me. I graduated from the U of O in 2018, and I've actually done some play-by-play for y'all's games, maybe like 2018, 2019. So I've seen players like Bryson Johnson, uh, Darnell Rennelee, Tim Turpin, Zach Bobo. I've seen them progress. So obviously, y'all had a lot of seniors this year. Would you just speak about what made this team so special and what got y'all over the hump and won the ASC championship for the first time since joining in '96? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I'm really happy to be here today with you guys. It was a special group, and the guys that played the majority of the minutes this year were very battle tested. They as freshmen, they all played as freshmen, and now as they're going to be walking across the stage here in May as champions. And I think a lot of it had to do with learning from failure. We talked about that a lot, about failure's never final, and they learned from it. They learned how to overcome their mistakes and to not make the same mistake twice. But man, it was really a special and fun group that I could go on and on about who they are and how they grew, but it would be really something to watch maybe their first game. I think the first game they played at we hosted Hendricks. Mm-hmm. We won that one at the buzzer. And then now 4 years later, being able to celebrate with the fans there at maybe Gym was a really fun experience.
Yeah, the gyms were very packed, and Ozarks has a really, really passionate fan base. So I know not only the players enjoyed this, but the fans as well, and made a lot of alumni proud. What does it mean to you personally? To win the conference and do something that Ozarks hasn't done since like the 90s. It's really humbling as an alumni, and obviously getting some exposure on ESPN there with Bryson Johnson's buzzer beater against Laterno to
Hardin
send them to the Hardin Simmons they beat Laterno and then Hardin Simmons. And then to send them to the championship game, that was awesome to see.
Yeah, it's been very humbling for me for my former players to reach out, and former alumni. Some guys, I don't know if y'all know, but I played in the ASC at UT Dallas.
Okay.
I've been in the ASC since 2003, and I haven't left it. And so some of the guys that have reached out and that I played against as opponents, and we had a few alumni at the game, and it was very humbling for the guys to reach out and extend their support and their excitement. I don't think, in all honesty, like I haven't really been able to process it all or enjoy it to the fullest after the fact. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that has to do with how much enjoyment I had this entire year. The group we had was just a really fun group to be around. They enjoyed themselves. They enjoyed each other. They were very coachable. there was nothing. They weren't late. There was a couple instances that they're late, and I'm a big time guy. Like, you got to be
Right.
early. But it was the times that it was because of class, and it's like if you're late and you're because of class, that's not a big deal. But everyone talks about enjoying or embracing the process of it all, and we talked about that as when these guys were freshmen, and we kind of brought it into a little simpler form when COVID hit. When COVID hit a year ago, talked at least once a month, if not, once a week as a group. And the same message was shared throughout everything, is that, hey, we can't look too far ahead, that we've got to make sure that, we are going to have opportunities, and we have to enjoy those opportunities, and we have to embrace those opportunities, and we can't look too far ahead. And that was shared in March of last year through June and July, about getting in the gym where we could, or just working out on our own. And then once we were able to get together, knowing that you never know when it's going to get shut down. We saw last night in the NCAA tournament, VCU had, I think it's a forfeiture, right? Because
right.
Like, they thought that morning they were waking up and playing an NCAA game.
That's tough.
It got took from them. And I think our guys saw that, and that it could happen at any point, and that with every opportunity that we had to make sure that we were preparing to be successful, but also we were going to have fun. We had music playing in most practices. I would say about 50% of practices, we opened up with about 15 to 20 minutes of music playing, and just having fun and enjoying themselves. And then once I had to start teaching a little more, we shut that thing off and got to business. So, at some point I'll be able to enjoy what we had and what it really means. But I was up, even Tuesday morning, I was just trying to enjoy the moment that was being held.
Yeah, the players really made this year count, because like you said, COVID got in the way of a lot of things. But on that note, I know the they won the ASC championship. Isn't there normally a postseason tournament beyond that, and COVID kind of messed that up? Or is the ASC championship, as far as it goes, in D3?
No, there is. This is the first year since I remember that there is not an NCAA tournament, and it's structured very similar to the Division I NCAA tournament, except for the fact that the first 2 weekends are at home sites. So usually one school hosts 3 other schools in a little 4-team bracket, and whoever wins that bracket moves on to the next weekend until they get to the Final Four, and usually the Final Four is set at a specific site. So yeah, we missed out on that, which is disappointing. I've been a part of the NCAA tournament 6 times probably since 2003. And it's really special. It's really a cool atmosphere and experience. And I'm sad for my guys that they weren't able to experience that. But at the same token, I don't know if they really grasp what they're missing.
Right.
How unique it is, and how much just how special it is to be there. And I think that kind of plays into their favor. Like, they're not going to be. I know they're missing it, right? And I know that they know that usually we'd be going on, but I'm going to use this term not in a disrespectful thing, but like the being naive for it, and not knowing exactly what they're missing will help them mentally, I think. We talked in the beginning of February. The NCAA came out and said that there was not going to be an NCAA tournament. And we were on the road when they announced it. So we met in the lobby of the hotel and talked about that. And then we immediately shifted our focus to there's going to be an ASC champion this year. And that's our focus is there's going to be somebody that comes out of ASC with a big trophy, and that needs to be our goal. And to a man, they looked me in the eyes and they had just that determined look that, hey, we're going to do everything in our power to do that.
They did it.
And we did see that determination because the games were very close in that conference tournament, and the team showed resiliency in getting those wins for sure. Aaron, you got anything for him?
Yeah. So Coach Carruthers. So I believe you were first hired around my first semester at University of the Ozarks in 2017, and tell me like your mind process, or like what you were thinking whenever you jumped into the job. Like you knew there's going to be a rebuilding process, or I can't really say rebuilding, but a building process to get to where you are now. Like, tell me, what was like your first goal? Did you have like a slogan, like, you know how like the 76ers has, like they say, trust the process, you know? So like, were you kind of just being patient because also one of your players, his name was Corey. I think he just graduated in 2020. So we had a lot of classes together. I was a health science major and a history minor, so we had a lot of classes together. And I was kind of asking him, you know, like what's going on, because you know we were kind of on the lower end of the rankings, you know, and he goes we just got a new coach. Great things are going to happen in the future, you know, in his way. That's what he said. And right now is the future. So I was just wondering, like to those first guys you had that first year, what was like the goal, like because you had to get them to trust in you that you were the guy to get them to where they need to be. So what was like, I'm trying to think. So what did you tell the players? What did you kind of say to get them to believe in you?
So you know, you've hit on some good points, and it's funny that you mentioned Corey, because Corey, he was the epitome of what I would want out of a student athlete. You know, he was very bright and very driven in the classroom, and he was a consummate teammate. And he worked his tail off. But if he scored 0 points and played 2 minutes and we won, he was happy as all get out. And if he scored 25 and grabbed 15 rebounds and we lost, it was not acceptable for him. And his mindset and his leadership skills, you know, he should be proud of what we achieved, because he was probably the main guy that is unable to kind of reap the benefits of what has happened over the past 4 years. You know, he's the one guy that I wish was part of this team more than anybody. And we've had some good ones over the past, but man, Corey was just a fantastic person and teammate. And he will never take credit for it, but the way that he was able to speak to guys, and I'm speaking specifically about Bryson Johnson and Zach Bobo, and Darnell and Tim, they may not know it, he may not know it, but he laid the groundwork for what they were able to accomplish this year. But going back on your first question, when I first took the job, I made T-shirts for the first day of our season, and very simple white T-shirts with the Eagle logo, and they had collar. And I said, we're going to be the hardest workers. You know, we may not win a game this year, but we're going to be blue collar. And I wanted our guys to be what I call lunch pail type guys, right? We're going to work every day, and
Yes.
we're not expecting anything from anybody, but we're going to just keep chipping that block with the belief that what we're doing is the right thing. And you hit on a really good point about trust, man. You hit a really good point. I don't know. I don't know when my team really bought in completely on who I am and what we were doing. I mean, it could have been the first year. It could have been this year that the entire team did. But I have had to prove myself to guys, and I didn't acknowledge that when I first got here. I didn't realize, part of it is maybe I was stubborn. Maybe I didn't want to believe that that they would question some of the things that I'm doing. But I think that the trust thing is absolutely huge, and the guys this year completely bought into what we were doing offensively and defensively and preparation wise. I don't think that our guys could have prepared in any better way than they did that last 3 weeks. It seemed like everything that I was trying to teach them, they were all about, and there's no doubt in my mind that holding Hardin Simmons to somewhere around 60 points at third place, holding McMurray in the 50s, holding Letourneau in the low 60s in that first round, that's all preparation. That's all our guys buying in to what our game plan was and then going and executing it. They had a true belief in what I was doing, and more importantly, they believed that if they made a mistake, they had 4 teammates behind them that were going to pick up their slack. The trust thing, you can't put a value on that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think you've successfully, if they weren't before, you've put Ozarks on the map, so to speak. What do you think? Winning
let me cut you off there. It's not me. It was all the guys that were able to all in the hoop. They put Ozarks on the map. I challenged those freshmen, Tim Turpin and Zach Bobo and Bryson Johnson, when I first got here, that I wanted them to leave a mark when they left. And they reminded me that after that last game, they said, "Coach, we left a mark. We have left a mark here with our basketball program." So I'm sorry, but I have to make that clear. It's not me. It's those guys.
Yes, sir. You're exactly right. It definitely takes, a well-oiled machine, and players are very important, obviously. Players like Bryson Johnson, Zach Bobo, they really stepped up this year, as well as Tim Turpin and Darnell Renalique. That's the seniors I can think of off the top of my head. But as far as recruiting, what do you think winning the conference would possibly do for recruiting as well?
Well, I think we're going to be able to attract some of the guys that really want to be in a winning program, that want to come and compete at the top. But more than just what we did, man, there's a young man named Dylan Keister who's a stud pitcher, and there's some stuff on for our social media. And man, that is good stuff. Like, even me as an older guy, I dig into that. And I think that's gonna it seems like every morning that after we won, there was something new coming out, and I was able to send that to our recruits, and really liked it. So I'm just hoping, we got 6 good seniors to replace, but I also have a really good team coming back. I've got guys that played a lot of big minutes that are coming back, and then I've got a few freshmen that didn't really get the opportunities, especially late in the season. I'm hoping that they're going to be hungry and they're going to work their tails off over the next 6 months to be ready, because we're going to have a target on our back next year, and there's only one team that gets to defend a title, and I'll be darned if we don't put our best foot forward next fall.
Well, Aaron, do you got anything else for Coach Carruthers?
Oh man, Coach Carruthers, I just want to say, so I love University of the Ozarks with my whole heart. You know,
Mhm.
I'm
Got the
so
flag
proud
back there.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud to be an alumni from that university, and it brings me so much joy that you and the guys were able to pull out a championship for the university, and it's incredible, and just watching you tear down the net, you know, from the
Mhm.
hoop. I mean, brought me so much joy, and I just want to say thank you.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. That was a lot of fun. My hope is that at some point in the distant future, when those students come back for homecoming, I don't think there's any doubt that the students that were there are going to remember that day, remember that weekend, because that was an electric atmosphere. There's no doubt that they played a huge role in giving us that home court advantage, and we're going to do everything in our power to be in the same position next year.
So one of the members of our show, he says, will you guys be playing around the Memphis area anytime soon? He would like to watch one of your games.
We're scheduled to play roads next year. I don't know if that's going to be home or away. Our conference is changing a little bit next year. So right now we are in the East and West, right? Like there's an East Division, which we play in, and there's a West Division. Well, Louisiana College, who we played for the championship, they're going NAI next year. And so we are getting rid of East and West. So we're going to have one big conference, 11 teams, and we will be playing everybody home and home, which it's good and bad, right? So we are guaranteed 10 home games next year, but we have to travel to everyone. So that means Alpine, Texas, Brownwood, Abilene, Central Texas. We got to go there next year. And it also eliminates 4 non-conference games. So we're going to have 5 non-conference games. We've got home and homes with Austin College out of Sherman and Hendricks out of Conway. And then I've got 1 game scheduled for Rhodes, and I don't know if that's going to be home or away. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I've got a good relationship with the head coach there at Rhodes, and we're going to make that an annual game. So yeah, we're going to try to get to. I think we are in Memphis next year. But I can't say that for sure. I know Zachary Bird, who's going to be an all-conference guy for us. He's from West Memphis, and I want to make sure that we're playing close to his home, so that we can get the Bird family out there, because they made a lot of trips down to Clarksville, and they make some noise.
Yes.
Well, Coach, we won't keep you much longer. I would love to say thank you so much for being on this show. It was a great interview. And here at 4-Star Nation, thanks for being on the show. We hope to have you back on maybe next year after celebrating another ASC championship. But good luck next year, by the way.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Well, if you guys want, anytime you want to talk, man, I'm all I can talk about sports. If you guys want to talk NCAA tournament, you want some golf tournaments, baseball, football, man, I'm all in, man. You just guys
awesome. That's awesome.
We definitely will. Thank you once again for being on the show. Peace out, 4-Star Nation.
All right, bye-bye.